Howdy everyone, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, here on this January 21st. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you so much for joining me once again. As always, there's the card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist so you can get caught up. And please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always staying caught up. So yesterday we saw the reuniting of Jacob with his brother Esau. Remember that Jacob had tricked Esau into giving up his rights as the firstborn, and then he had subsequently tricked his father Isaac into giving up his blessing to Jacob. And so Jacob had been on the run out of fear of his brother and his father, and now the two have finally been reunited and they have reconciled and all is forgiven now. So today we're actually going to skip over a few chapters. We were in chapter 33 of Genesis. Now we're going to skip over a few and go to chapter 37 in Genesis. And we're going to talk about one of Jacob's sons, Joseph. You may have heard his story before. I think there was a DreamWorks movie a while back, Joseph the Dreamer or something like that, that went over that story. Before we do that, I want to give a little bit of background real quick on Jacob's family and basically his sons. So we skip over this part in the plan. But what happens is that eventually Jacob, aka Israel, remember God renames Jacob into Israel. That's where the nation of Israel comes from. Jacob has 12 sons with 4 women. He has sons with his 2 wives, Leah and Rachel, and then their maids, Bilhah and Zilpah. And then these 12 sons will become the heads of the 12 tribes of Israel, the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. So if you ever talk to, an actual Jew anywhere, odds are they can tell you what tribe they descend from. They can tell you their lineage through their tribal history. So real quick, the 12 sons of Jacob are Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Joseph, and Benjamin. Now, right now, we're going to focus on Joseph this time. Now, Joseph is probably at this point Jacob's favorite son. Parents shouldn't have favorite children, but Jacob did. Because if you remember back in the story when Jacob and Rachel first met, Jacob was in love with Rachel, but not with Leah. So Rachel was the favored wife of Jacob. And then consequently afterwards, Rachel had trouble getting pregnant and giving birth. So when Joseph was born from Rachel. So there you have it. Favored wife, favored son. Okay, so Joseph was the favored son. And now we're going to start off in Joseph's story and see what happens there. So we're going to chapter 37 of the book of Genesis, starting in verse 1. Jacob stayed and lived in the land of Canaan. This is the same land where his father had lived. This is the story of Jacob's family. Joseph was a young man, 17 years old. His job was to take care of the sheep and the goats. Joseph did this work with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah. Bilhah and Zilpah were his father's wives. Joseph told his father about the bad things that his brothers did. Joseph was born at a time when his father Israel was very old, so Israel loved him more than he loved his other sons. Jacob gave him a special coat, which was long and very beautiful. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father loved Joseph more than he loved them, they hated their brother because of this. They refused to say nice things to him. One time, Joseph had a special dream. Later, he told his brothers about this dream, and after that, his brothers hated him even more. Joseph said, "I had a dream. We were all working in the field, tying stacks of wheat together. Then my stack got up. It stood there, while all of your stacks of wheat made a circle around mine and bowed down to it." His brothers said, "You think this means that you will be a king and rule over us?" His brothers hated Joseph more now because of the dreams he had about them. Then Joseph had another dream, and he told his brothers about it. He said, "I had another dream. I saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing down to me." Joseph also told his father about this dream, but his father criticized him. His father said, "What kind of dream is this? Do you believe that your mother, your brothers, and I will bow down to you?" Joseph's brothers continued to be jealous of him, but his father thought about all these things and wondered what they could mean. One day Joseph's brothers went to Shechem to care for their father's sheep. Jacob said to Joseph, "Go to Shechem. Your brothers are there with my sheep." Joseph answered, "I will go." His father said, "Go and see if your brothers are safe. Come back and tell me if my sheep are all fine." So Joseph's father sent him from the valley of Hebron to Shechem. At Shechem, Joseph got lost. A man found him wandering in the fields. The man said, "What are you looking for?" Joseph answered, "I am looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are with their sheep?" The man said, "They have already gone away. I heard them say they were going to Dothan." So Joseph followed his brothers and found them in Dothan. Verse 18. Joseph's brothers saw him coming from far away. They decided to make a plan to kill him. They said to each other, "Here comes Joseph the dreamer. We should kill him now while we can. We could throw his body into one of the empty wells and tell our father that a wild animal killed him. Then we will show him that his dreams are useless." But Reuben wanted to save Joseph. He said, "Let's not kill him. We can put him into a well without hurting him." Reuben planned to save Joseph and send him back to his father. When Joseph came to his brothers, they attacked him and tore off his long and beautiful coat. Then they threw him into an empty well that was dry. While Joseph was in the well, the brothers sat down to eat. They looked up and saw a group of traders traveling from Gilead to Egypt. Their camels were carrying many different spices and riches. So Judah said to his brothers, "What profit will we get if we kill our brother and hide his death? We will profit more if we sell him to these traders. Then we will not be guilty of killing our own brother." The other brothers agreed. When the Midianite traders came by, the brothers took Joseph out of the well and sold him to the traders for 20 pieces of silver. The traders took him to Egypt. Reuben had been gone, but when he came back to the well, he saw that Joseph was not there. He tore his clothes to show that he was upset. Reuben went to the brothers and said, "The boy is not in the well. What will I do?" The brothers killed a goat and put the goat's blood on Joseph's beautiful coat. Then the brothers showed the coat to their father. And the brothers said, "We found this coat. Is this Joseph's coat?" His father saw the coat and knew that it was Joseph's. He said, "Yes, that is his. Maybe some wild animal has killed him. My son Joseph has been eaten by a wild animal." Jacob was so sorry about his son that he tore his clothes. Then Jacob put on special clothes to show that he was sad. He continued to be sad about his son for a long time. All of Jacob's sons and daughters tried to comfort him, but Jacob was never comforted. He said, "I will be sad about my son until the day I die." So Jacob continued to mourn his son Joseph. The Midianite traders later sold Joseph in Egypt. They sold him to Potiphar, an officer of the king of Egypt and the captain of his palace guards. All right, so let's start from the beginning there. So already off the bat, Joseph was not well liked by the rest of his brothers because Jacob clearly favored him more over his brothers, simply because he was born from the favored wife. Okay, and he gave him the special coat. You may have heard of Joseph's many-colored coat, coat of many colors, coat of rainbow colors, whatever. But it is clearly a beautiful coat, a lovely, beautiful, adorned coat that made him stood apart. It was such a wonderful gift, and obviously made his brothers jealous. And then Joseph didn't do himself any favors. He was totally innocent in just saying, "Hey, I had this dream. This is what I saw." Because God was giving him these visions. He hadn't given him the gift to interpret them yet, which we'll find out later on, but he was showing him these visions of what will happen. But of course, naturally, Joseph's brothers, they're only human, and they're just thinking, "Who's this guy think he is? Thinks he's going to rule over us. He's a kid. He's younger than us, And Jacob may have had some idea because he was blessed by the Lord. He knew the Lord, so he may have thought that the Lord had something to do with it. But he was like, just slow down there for a second. Well, unfortunately, their brothers became overwhelmed with jealousy. They let it control them. They let their sin get the better of them, and they plotted to kill him. And unfortunately, they didn't, because it was God's plan that they didn't. They put him in the well, and then they sold him to Egypt. Now, this is just part one of a plan for Joseph and the rest of Israel, and this is the start of how Israel is going to build up into an actual nation of people. Right now, it's just like this one family, a large family, 12 sons and several daughters and all their children too. But eventually, it'll go from, being less than 100 people to millions of people. And we'll see about that later on. So we'll pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you for joining me once again. Sure do appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Bye.